Ladies, let me tell you something about men. Real men, grown men, not boys in grown-up bodies. You want to know when we lose our minds, when we go crazy in a way that we don't forget? It's not just about what you do in the bedroom, it's what you say, what you show, and how you make us feel. Right in that most vulnerable, explosive moment. Men are simple, but they are not shallow. People misunderstand that all a man needs is physical attention, that he doesn't crave emotional recognition, but that's far from the truth. A man, a real man, goes absolutely crazy when the woman he desires shows up, not just with her body, but with her full presence. And there's one moment when a man is more open than any other, right before he finishes. That's when he's not thinking about work, not worried about how he looks, not fronting for any. That moment strips him bare. It's the most human, most honest second he has. And what you do right then, that can lock you into his heart like a tattoo he can't remove. Now, let's be real. This isn't just about making love. This is about connection. When a man finishes, it's not just a physical release. It's an emotional and even spiritual moment, whether he realizes it or not. He might not talk about it, but he feels it. And in that exact second before it happens, if you say the right thing, if you make the right gesture, if you match your energy to his vulnerability, you will make a permanent impression on him. You will become unforgettable. You want to know what that does to a man? It drives him crazy in the best way. He starts to crave you, not just because of how you make him feel physically, but because of how you make him feel like a man, like he's good enough, like he's powerful, like he's appreciated, admired, desired. That moment becomes more than pleasure. It becomes personal. And once it's personal, that man is hooked. It's not about faking anything. You can't fake that energy. A man knows when you're truly in it. So when you're with him and he's close to that point, don't hold back your affection. Lean in. Let him see it in your eyes. Let him feel it in your breath, in your words. Whisper something simple but powerful. Tell him you trust him. Tell him he's the only one who gets you like that. Tell him he feels like home. You might think those words are small, but in that moment, they are massive. They're everything. And here's the secret. Men rarely hear those kinds of words in their day-to-day lives. Most men are walking around carrying pressure, expectations, fears. They're trying to be tough, trying to succeed, trying to lead. But they don't often feel soft. They don't often feel safe. And when you make a man feel emotionally safe in that moment of physical surrender, he will always remember you for that. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you leave a mark. A lot of women are taught to hold back. Don't be too soft. Don't say too much. Don't reveal how much you care. But real power is in your softness, in your ability to show that you're in tune with him, that you're not just in it for your own pleasure, but that you're invested in him, that you see him not just as a body, but as a soul, that you're present with every part of him, especially the part he doesn't show to anyone else. When you say the right thing right before he finishes, it's like hitting the emotional jackpot. Maybe it's his name on your lips. Maybe it's a little laugh. Maybe it's you gasping that he makes you feel alive. Whatever it is, when it's genuine, it hits him harder than anything physical ever could. And that's the kind of moment he replays in his mind when he's away from you. That's the moment he compares other women to. That's the moment that makes him want more than a night. It makes him want you permanently. You don't have to be loud or theatrical. Sometimes it's the softness that drives him wild. That little whisper, that small moan followed by a sincere compliment. That 1 second where he knows you're fully with him and that you're proud of the man he's being for you. That's the kind of energy men beg for but rarely get. And when they get it, they chase it hard. It's about confidence, too. If you're confident in that moment, if you let your guard down and speak to him from a place of openness, he'll feel safe doing the same. Men don't talk about it, but most of them are starving for emotional connection. So when you speak to him as more than a lover, as a friend, as a fan, as a safe space, it messes him up in the best way. It touches places inside of him that no physical act ever could. And don't forget, your body language speaks just as loud as your words. The way you touch him, the way you hold him, the way you look at him. These are all signals. When you wrap your arms around him, pull him in tighter, look him in the eye with nothing but admiration. You're telling him you belong here, you matter here, you did something beautiful. That's what men crave. That's what men remember. That's what makes them go crazy, not just for the moment, but for the woman who gave them that moment. So if you really want to capture a man's heart, don't underestimate that final second. Don't underestimate your voice, your energy, your presence. Right before he finishes, that's when he's the most open. That's when you can leave your message in his soul. And if you do it right, if you do it with honesty, with intention, and with love, he will never forget you. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. When a man is about to finish, in that exact moment, right before release, his whole world is tuned in. He's not thinking about bills, deadlines, or anything else outside of that moment. He's focused, he's present, and he's at his most open, most vulnerable. That's a side of him that no one else sees, and if you do the right thing in that instant, you become more than just a woman he's attracted to. You become unforgettable. That's not about lust anymore. That's impact. That's connection. Most women don't realize how powerful that moment really is. You can change how a man feels about himself, how he sees you, and how he defines intimacy in just a few seconds. Because when you do something meaningful right before he finishes, something that touches more than just his body, it locks you into his emotions in a way that's hard to shake. And the crazy part is, it doesn't take much. It's not about being loud or flashy. It's about presence. It's about energy. It's about being real with him in the most honest way possible. The way you look at him, the way you breathe with him, the way you say his name. All of that builds a powerful emotional moment. A man might have had intimacy before, but when you speak into his masculinity at that exact second, when you make him feel strong, capable, desired, and safe, it rewires the whole experience. It becomes less about pleasure and more about pride. It becomes about him feeling like he's the man. That's what sticks. That's what drives him crazy. And that's what makes him want to experience that again and again with you. You might say something like, "You make me feel so good," or "I've never felt this close to anyone before." Those words are simple, but when timed right, they're golden. He feels like he just gave you something no other man could. He feels special. He feels seen. And that, for a man, is rare. It's also addictive because men don't always get to feel that in the real world. Out there, he might be judged by his job, his status, or his mistakes. But in that moment with you, he's not being judged. He's being appreciated. That creates a kind of emotional high that's hard to let go of. Some women think they have to put on a show, perform, act in ways they saw in movies or heard about from someone else. But the truth is, what drives a man wild isn't an act. It's authenticity. If you're truly in the moment, if your reactions are honest, if your voice carries that emotional truth, he knows it. He feels it in his bones, And that's what makes him feel connected to you on a deeper level. That's what makes the experience more than just physical. And don't forget that your body language is just as powerful as your words. The way you hold him tighter, pull him closer, even the way your body reacts naturally. Those are cues he reads as confirmation that he's doing something right, that he's pleasing you, that he matters in that space. And that confirmation is fuel to a man's emotional tank. You make him feel like he's not just there, he's needed, he's respected, and he's admired. That right there, that's the kind of feeling a man doesn't forget. You could also speak softly in his ear, call his name, tell him you don't want it to end. And you have no idea how powerful that is when he's right there on the edge. He's already flooded with emotion and sensation, and now you're tying your words to that rush. You're connecting your emotional intimacy with his physical pleasure. That's next level intimacy. That's the type of thing that lingers with him days later. He'll be driving to work and boom, that moment flashes back. He'll smile to himself, maybe shake his head a little, because you gave him a moment that no one else could. And what happens after that? He starts looking at you differently. He's not just physically attracted. Now there's an emotional imprint. He sees you as the woman who gets him, who knows how to reach him, who brings him peace and fire at the same time. That's not something he can find anywhere. That's why he keeps coming back. That's why he wants more than just another night. That's why you stick in his memory long after the moment is over. So when you're with a man and you sense that he's about to finish, that's your window. Don't waste it. Don't hold back. Give him a taste of emotional connection that wraps around the physical act like a bow on a gift. Tell him something real. Look at him with intention. Be fully there, because when you do that, you unlock a part of him he didn't even know needed unlocking. And once that door's open, he'll never forget the woman who opened it. There's a moment in every intimate connection that holds more power than most people realize. It's not the beginning, not the middle. It's right before he finishes. That moment is not just about physical pleasure. It's about emotional exposure. A man is never more open, more raw, more reachable than in that instant. It's when his heart beats faster, his guard drops, and he's fully tuned into you. That's the moment where what you do, what you say, and how you show up can change everything. You have the power to create an experience he will never forget. A lot of women underestimate the emotional access they gain during intimacy. They focus on trying to perform or please in the physical sense, thinking that's what a man wants most. And while the physical is important, what truly takes it to another level, what truly makes a man go crazy, is the emotional layer added right before he lets go. When you lean into him, when your energy says, I'm right here with you, and your voice softens and you speak into his soul, you shift the entire experience from ordinary to unforgettable. It doesn't take grand gestures or rehearsed lines. It takes presence. It takes authenticity. You don't need to act. You need to feel. Feel him, feel the connection, and let him feel you. The words you say in that moment are powerful, not because they're poetic, but because they're real. A simple, you make me feel safe. I love how you touch me, or you're the only one who gets me like this, can completely reframe how he experiences that release. He doesn't just feel the high of pleasure, he feels the weight of your affirmation, your appreciation, your trust. You have to understand something about men. We walk through the world with pressure on our shoulders. We're expected to perform, lead, provide, and protect. Most of us don't get told we're enough. We don't get told we're doing well. But when we're with a woman who makes us feel seen, not just physically, but emotionally, That sticks. That's the kind of experience we remember, talk about, crave. And when you speak life into a man in that exact moment of surrender, you leave a mark on his spirit that no other woman can match. Your words become emotional anchors. They replay in his head long after the moment ends. They show up when he's thinking about who makes him feel the most alive. When you tell a man something meaningful right before he finishes, it's like etching it into his memory. It becomes tied to his pleasure, to his vulnerability, to his most human moment. That's the kind of imprint that builds bonds, not just attractions. And it's not just about words. Your body speaks too. The way you hold him, the way you look at him, the way you breathe in sync with him. It all matters. Pulling him in close, wrapping your arms around him, pressing your forehead to his, looking into his eyes and silently saying, "This is real." All of that drives him deeper into you, not just physically, but emotionally. It creates a sense of belonging that most men don't even know they're looking for until they feel it. The beauty of that moment is that it's sacred. He can't fake it. You can't fake it. You either connect or you don't. And when you do, when you're brave enough to meet him at that edge with softness, vulnerability, and emotional clarity, you create something that goes beyond the bedroom. You create trust, you create magnetism, you create memory. And he will return to that memory over and over again, chasing the feeling, chasing you. There's also something magnetic about feminine energy that's fully expressed in that moment. When you stop overthinking and just let your emotion flow, your passion, your love, your gratitude, even your joy, it intoxicates a man. It lets him feel the weight of his impact on you. That he's not just someone passing through your life, but someone who's made a difference. That's the kind of feeling men will fight to keep around. It's not about being perfect, it's about being present, emotionally honest, and deeply connected. So if you ever wanted to know when a man is most reachable, it's not over dinner, it's not during a text, it's not even when he's telling you about his childhood. It's in that split second before he finishes, when he's wide open. That's the moment when you step in, not just with your body, but with your words, your energy, your love, and give him something no one else does. A woman who knows how to connect with his soul while his body is at its highest point of release, that woman is unforgettable. That woman is the one he can't stop thinking about. That woman is the one he goes crazy for. There's something few people talk about when it comes to intimacy, something quiet, powerful, and deeply human. It's that exact moment right before a man finishes. It's not just physical, it's emotional. It's the one moment when a man's defenses fall completely away. He's not calculating, he's not overthinking, he's not putting on a show. In that single second, his vulnerability is wide open. And that's when a woman who knows what she's doing can reach him in a way no one else can. What you do right then, what you say, how you show up, that's what drives a man absolutely crazy. You don't need to be loud or dramatic to create impact. You don't need to perform. What truly shakes a man's core is when you meet his physical intensity with emotional intimacy. When you give him something that hits his heart just as hard as the pleasure is hitting his body. It's that combination that makes him remember you. That's what elevates you from someone he was with to someone he can't stop thinking about. It could be the tone of your voice, a whisper in his ear that says, "I love how you make me feel," or something even simpler, "You're amazing." That's not just noise. That's a message that lands inside him when his entire being is tuned to receive it. It becomes tied to one of the most powerful sensations he can experience. And once your words become connected to his pleasure, to his confidence, to his manhood, he'll never forget it. You'll have to understand how rare that is for men. Out in the world, they're constantly told to be strong, to be tough, to keep going. They don't get to pause and feel appreciated, admired, or emotionally safe very often. So when a woman steps in with gentle affirmation in the middle of that vulnerable, explosive moment, it shakes him. And he wants more. Not because you did something wild, but because you made him feel something no one else ever does. The truth is, men want to feel needed. They want to feel like they're doing something right. And in that moment of climax, they don't just want to be celebrated for how they perform, but for how they make you feel. When you show him that he affects you deeply, that he moves you, that you're there with him completely, it does something to his mind. That's not just passion. That's imprinting. That's memory. So what can you do in that moment? You meet him with full presence. Let your eyes say what your words don't. Touch his face. Hold his body close. Call his name with meaning. Look at him like he's the only man who exists. And if you say something, say it like you mean it. I love this connection. Or I've never felt anything like this. Or you're all I want. You're not just complimenting his performance, you're confirming his importance. That's what sinks deep into his soul. It doesn't take a long speech. Just a few words delivered with sincerity in that one perfect moment is enough to set his entire system on fire. He'll be dazed, maybe even surprised by how much it affects him. And when he lies there afterward, breathing heavy, his body relaxing, his mind will be replaying what you said. That's the kind of experience that sticks. It becomes a mental and emotional reference point, something he'll compare other moments to. And if they don't measure up, he'll keep coming back to the one who did it right. You. Your emotional expression in that moment is power, your femininity, your softness, your ability to affirm without ego. That's what makes him feel like a man in the truest way. It's what makes the experience not just hot, but meaningful. And when a man feels meaning in a moment of pleasure, that's when he connects. That's when he bonds. That's when he goes from being physically satisfied to emotionally invested. Every time you touch a man's spirit in that moment, you build something stronger than chemistry. You build connection. You leave a mark not on his skin, but on his memory. And when you do that enough, when you show up that fully and that genuinely, you don't have to chase him. He'll come to you. He'll crave that emotional high because it's rare and it's real. So when that moment comes, when his body is right on the edge, when his eyes close and his breath quickens, that's your opening. Don't hold back. Give him honesty. Give him affection. Let your energy surround him like a blanket. Say something that reminds him he's not just a man to you, he's your man. Do that. And you'll leave him wondering how he ever lived without that kind of connection. You won't just drive him crazy in the moment. You'll drive him crazy long after, every time he thinks about what it felt like to be seen, felt, and loved by you.